Businesses that advertise on BelchertownNews.com have the benefit of an ad that appears on every page that links to their respective websites. Therefore, a link can be interpreted as a portal to potentially unlimited advertising space for that business. Another option is a 30-second spot prior to news videos embedded with different news articles, or an infomercial that can appear in the advertising section. Advertising is not only better on BelchertownNews.com, it is also less expensive than print advertising, allowing you to keep your advertisement going year-round without breaking the bank.
Let me introduce this by saying that, as Steve has said, we're not unaware of the economic situation and the pressures facing the town and the state, but we have not endeavored to figure out what the answer to those might be in this presentation. Instead, we have come with a presentation of what the program, what the project would look like ordinarily. With one very minor exception, we haven't really tried to reflect any adjustments that would be necessary to deal with the situation that you're facing. With that background, let me just say that we're going to begin with actual expenses and then we'll flow forward and show how things develop. In fiscal year 2009, the year which just ended, we spent in operations in the library a total of $403,000, and of that amount, the town support provided 93%. The balance came from state aid and some library-generated amounts. But 93% of our current operations were paid for last year by the town. Future operating expenses, looking at this project, we project that the operating cost for this new library, when it is fully in scope, will be about a little short of $700,000, $680,900. And as is currently the case, the bulk of those expenses will need to be financed by the town because there's no other practical source. There is, as you know, no debt exclusion proposed to cover these increased operating expenses. It'll be necessary to accommodate them in the regular town budget. We think that might be a workable problem for two reasons. One is that we're not talking about a major portion of the town budget. Our current level represents about 1%, a little less than 1% of the town budget. And the second is that the major increase associated with the project doesn't hit until the beginning of the year 2012. That is, it would first appear in the budget for fiscal year 2012. It would be in the latter half of that year. Here's a projected timeline for the project, and I put this up here just to orient you about some events that will affect the cost. The first one is that in the late summer of next year, in the second half of 2010, the plan calls for the library to move to a temporary location, recognizing that if we can do that, it will materially shorten the time required for this project and reduce the cost compared to having them trying to construct a new building around a functional library. So you can expect to see some cost increases in the latter part of 2010, just from the standpoint of having a bigger building and double insurance and things like that. In January of 2012, according to this schedule, I'll call it early 2012, the new library would be open for business. That means that in the last half of budget year 2012, you would have a significant increase, and then in fiscal year 2013, you'd have a full year of the new expense level. With that as background, then, here is the projection of the total operating library operating expense for the years 2010 through 2013. Those are fiscal years. And the town funding associated with that. This first set of numbers here is what's in the budget right now. The library has a budgeted amount of $409,000, and there's $378,009 in town support. The rest of these numbers, as Steve said, we'd be happy to go through how we got these with you if you wish. The major increase in the major portion of this $30,000 increase in fiscal year 2011 is the move to the new facilities, and then in fiscal year 2000.
How much? 30.
Well, it's $34,000.
34,000.
And the biggest chunk of it is the increased utilities as a result of operating a bigger building and having a construction program going into your existing building.
Where would you move to?
Well, we've been talking, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, we've currently been talking to the school department about moving into Hatch. We have ongoing conversations with them at this point. Nothing's firm, but it appears that that is probably the best option.
Okay.
Now, when you get to 2012, what you're seeing there is a half year of the new library, and that accounts for this expansion in cost. And then by 2013, you get to the full cost of the new library. Again, these are projections. These are not detailed plans. They're not commitments. They're not anything. They're just to try to get an order of magnitude, at least, feel for what this project would entail.
For the projections, especially for 2012, 2013, assuming that also includes staffing costs, operating costs,
Yes. Yes.
utility costs,
Right.
has a inflation rate been built into those to get you out to 2012?
Yes, an attempt has been made to do that. What you have here are so many unknowns about the increased efficiency of the new building and so forth. I don't know that we inflated payroll costs. No. These are kind of current scale.